President Biden under fire. More than 24 House Democrats reportedly preparing to ask him to drop his re-election bid.
If I have any regret, it is not having spoken up earlier about this.
Who else is speaking out publicly, and who do they think should replace Biden on the ticket? Powerful Hurricane Beryl now taking aim at Jamaica. The deadly storm has already decimated smaller islands in its path. Every home on one island destroyed. We're tracking it all and seeing if it could reach South Texas. Plus,
can you see me?
Yes, I can see you perfectly.
Take a look at the first ever hologram doctor helping patients in the U.S.
Very nice. Have a seat.
The first hospital in the nation to use this new technology and how it could be just a start for all Americans.
Fridays. Fry.
Before you head to Mickey D's, an ex-McDonald's corporate chef stops by with what you should and shouldn't buy. Plus, how to make sure you have the best tasting food every single time.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Dig in. It's Morning in America. Good morning. Happy Wednesday from our NewsNation headquarters in America's heartland. It's time for News for All America. I'm Nick Smith. Good morning. There have been a lot of developing stories overnight, and we will touch on all of them. But we begin this morning in our nation's capital, where trouble is brewing for President Biden this morning as two Democrats call on him to drop out of the presidential race, with more reportedly set to come out against his re-election bid in the coming days. Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett was the first domino to fall, the congressman telling NewsNation's Austin affiliate he has stayed silent too long.
And if I have any regret, it is not having spoken up earlier about this. All of us were concerned, and anything we might say would make it more difficult for the president. In talking with people here, it just seems to me that everyone wants a choice that's different than what we have.
NewsNation's Alina Shirazi is at the White House with the very latest this morning. Alina, not only has Doggett spoken out, but even former cabinet minister Julian Castro is speaking out this morning.
Yannick, good morning. Well, former Congressman and Obama-era Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro called President Biden one of the weakest presidential candidates in history, right? So here is actually a statement from him. He's calling him to withdraw, saying, quote, defeating Donald Trump is too important for Democrats to do nothing. And while she didn't directly call on him to end his re-election bid, Washington Democratic Congresswoman Marie Gluesenkamp-Perez telling an Oregon TV station that President Biden will lose to President Trump in November. Nick?
Alina, these Democrats may not be the last ones to speak out. We are hearing rumors that others may step up as well, correct?
Yannick, more dominoes to fall, as you mentioned. Reuters says at least 25 House Democrats are ready to call on President Biden to drop out of the race. And in a potentially crushing blow to his re-election efforts, these are not actually believed to be far-left progressive candidates either. So according to reports, lawmakers in battleground districts were being peppered with questions about Biden's ability to win. Even former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who defended formerly President Biden following his debate flop, says it's a, quote, legitimate question to ask about Biden's fitness to serve. Of course, all of this as President Biden telling a room full of supporters during a Tuesday fundraiser that he nearly fell asleep during the debates, which he blamed on his international travel schedule in the weeks leading up to his disastrous performance. And something else to keep an eye on today, the White House Chief of Staff is set to hold an all-staff call this afternoon, reportedly to tell staffers to keep their heads down and sort of weather the storm there, Nick. But this all-hands call comes hours before the president is set to meet with Democratic governors here at the White House later tonight. Nick.
Elena, thank you so much. Let's bring in former D.C. Democratic Party chairman and NewsNation political contributor Scott Bolden and former White House Deputy Press Secretary for President Trump, Hogan Gidley. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. I just want to jump in there because we're hearing a lot of whining from Democrats. Is this normal Democratic bedwetting, or do we sense something brewing here that could result in a problem for Mr. Biden, Scott?
Yeah, that's a new term for me, bedwetting. I had to look that up, but I get the impression I know what that means. Here's, the White House and the DNC are spinning right now, and they're responsible for this because they could make all of this go away, and they won't make it go away because it doesn't sound like they have a plan, and if they do, I don't really see it as a Democratic donor. For example, you've got these calls for his resignation. You have these concerns. It's a story that won't go away. Then put Biden out there. If he had a bad night, then put him out there with the reporters. Put him out there in town hall meetings. Hell, put him on Fox News, if you will, and let him have at it if he's capable and competent and ready for leadership and ready to do this campaign. I think there's no question he can govern, but can he win the campaign, and can he put this together to beat Donald Trump? That's a real question.
Hogan, Republicans smell blood in the water.
Yeah, they do. But this is a long time coming. I appreciate the media finding Jesus on this matter. But the fact is, this has been well known for a long time in his inner circle. The press even made up a term to try and protect him in the week before the debate, which was cheap fakes. All these things you're seeing about Joe Biden, they're not real. They're just badly edited videos. The reality hit them hard, squarely in the face. Imagine when they find out Joe Biden's done shady business dealings. I can't believe what they're going to do then. But the fact is, listen, everyone knows Joe Biden has been in a steep physical and mental decline for a long time. But he should be out there. Absolutely. Put him out there. Let people see him. The problem is the staff knows he's not up to it. He can't do it. So they've been trying to shield him and protect him. But the reality now is this. The American people now see the difference between someone who was president but still has his mental and physical capabilities as opposed to Joe Biden, who clearly does not. The Democrats have a real problem moving forward. And for the most part, what they're really concerned about is him being a drag at the top of the ticket. That's why you're seeing dissension in the ranks for people running for re-election in the Democrat Party.
Scott, to Hogan's point there, Democrats, some seem to be sounding the alarm, but they're not necessarily the big Democrats who could really make a difference. And if Mr. Biden's mental decline is so much of a factor, why haven't we seen a larger bump in Mr. Trump's numbers?
Well, you have inconsistent performances by Donald Trump. One, he raised $141 million. I'm sorry, by Joe Biden. He raised $140 million after the debate. Donald Trump is still on the other side, who's a convicted felon, been found liable for sexual abuse and financial fraud. And the process for Joe Biden releasing his delegates and stepping down gets even more complicated under the Democratic rules. And he's still the only one that's ever beat Donald Trump. And so it gets complicated. And between the family and the close staff and those who are calling for his resignation, I think that's premature. But I do think it's legitimate questions, and that Biden's got to have some hardcore discussions with the governors, donors, and the voters, because it looks like from the polling that not much has changed. But in a week, you're going to get some real polling. And if he's down by 6 to 10 points because people think he's too old to run, the only other alternative is Donald Trump. And that's a choice for anarchy versus democracy. And so lots of movement. Let's just see what happens in the next, I'd say, 3 to 6 days.
Hogan,
it's going to be really important.
Hogan, Mr. Biden, too old to run, Mr. Biden, mental decline, but he's also still the head of a crime family, to quote some Republicans. Hogan, is this a situation where Republicans fear that Mr. Biden is still the only one who could possibly beat Mr. Trump in 2024, so it is necessary to do as much damage as possible?
No, look, I think Democrats are very in a weird spot here, in large part because my counterpart here is absolutely right. He understands it's clunky, it's cumbersome, it's chaotic to try and remove him at this point. I think they circle the wagons. I think they support and protect Joe Biden moving forward, of course, because they do have a difficult process with FEC money questions of who the dollars could then go to if they brought someone else up on the ticket. Obviously, the delegation allotment to Joe Biden is already kind of baked at this point. The Republicans, though, need to understand this was one night in a series of many problems for Joe Biden, but it's still a serious race. And you got to get back to the blocking and tackling, the voter turnout apparatus, the ground game. That's what wins you and loses you elections. And so Republicans, while they understand Joe Biden is problematic mentally and physically. His policies are really what's hurt the American people, regardless of race, religion, color, or creed. They need to focus on that and the blocking and tackling, the nuts and bolts. That's what's going to happen between now and November. If they do that, they're going to be in good shape. If they get distracted by Joe Biden can't walk upstairs and all this kind of stuff, it's fun to mess with him on that. But it's a real danger for this country because it puts us in a bad spot globally. The American people need to understand that's what's really at stake here, not some addled old man.
Scott, I'm going to need more colloquial terms from you. We've got blocking and tackling. We've got come to Jesus moments from Hogan. I'm telling you there. Hogan Gidley and Scott Bolden, thank you both so much, gentlemen. President Trump's sentencing in his New York hush money case has been pushed to September following the Supreme Court's controversial ruling on presidential immunity. The delay comes as Mr. Trump's lawyers look to have his conviction thrown out. The judge says he'll make a ruling on September 6th, with sentencing now set for September 18th if necessary. The original date was July 11th, days before the Republican National Convention. Also making headlines this morning, President Biden is expected to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when he arrives later this month to address Congress. The details still being finalized. Now, the trip comes during strained relations between the two over the war in Gaza. Now, while still supporting Israel as an ally, the Biden administration has been frustrated with Israel's actions, including the lack of protection for civilians. For his part, though, Mr. Netanyahu has claimed the U.S. is withholding weapons from Israel. Benjamin Netanyahu's congressional address is scheduled for the 24th. Several Democrats have said that they plan to boycott. And after an influx of Chinese migrants at the southern border, the Department of Homeland Security deported 116 on the first large charter flight in 5 years. The U.S. previously ran into difficulties because China resisted taking those people back. In 2023, we saw a surge of Chinese nationals entering the country illegally from Mexico, with border officials arresting more than 37,000. That's 10 times the number in 2022. Now, Homeland Security says they're working with China on more removal flights, but have not given a timeline. And thousands of people in Northern California have been forced to leave their homes because of a fast-moving wildfire. We've talked about this before. Fires continue to be a problem in California. This one, the Thompson Fire. It has burned more than 3,000 acres and is 0% contained. More than 500 firefighters are currently battling the flames, and at least 3 are reportedly injured, all battling dry conditions and a heat wave that is expected to last for days. Sticking with weather, let's turn to the tropics, where Major Hurricane Beryl is barreling down towards Jamaica as it tears through the Caribbean. The storm has already killed at least 6 people in several island nations with widespread destruction. NOAA hurricane hunters flying into the storm taking this video. Take a look at that, showing us the eye of the hurricane with eerie clear skies overhead. Now, Beryl peaking as a Category 5 hurricane on Tuesday, the earliest a storm has been that strong since records began. And here to break it all down for us is NewsNation meteorologist Max Saperas. Max, where are things headed now, and how dangerous will this become?
This is still a life-threatening situation with this storm system, Nick. It's a Category 4 at this hour, winds 145 miles per hour, and it's approaching Jamaica as we get towards midday into the afternoon. So there you see it swirling away, moving to the west-northwest at 20 miles per hour. We have Jamaica and the Cayman Islands under hurricane warnings that they will feel direct impacts from this storm system. So we certainly are on the lookout for that later today before this moves towards Mexico to end the work week. Category 4 hurricane, that's what we're expecting later today near Jamaica, if not right on top of them. This will be impacting the Yucatan Peninsula near Cancun by Friday morning with a Category 2 status by then. Moving into the Gulf, weakening to a Category 1 or tropical storm, but still South Texas needs to be on alert as you're in the cone here as we get towards the start of next week. The rest of this work week, hot, right? We're dealing with 120 million Americans under heat alerts at this hour from the West Coast to the Deep South. We're shattering records through California and parts of Oregon. You know, it's downright hot when we're breaking a record in Palm Springs, up to 121, 3 days in a row with records in Fresno, and up to the century mark in Portland, Oregon to end on Friday. Still plenty hot in the central and the eastern U.S. with lots of 90s and 100-degree weather to track through the 4th of July. So, Nick, as we're celebrating the holiday, make sure to pace ourselves and drink plenty of water.
Max, thank you so much. Now, whether you're flying or driving this Independence holiday weekend, you won't be alone, with a record number of travelers hitting the skies and roads to celebrate. NewsNation's Xavier Walton joins me from Miami International Airport. And Xavier, I have to believe that that will be one of the busiest airports this week.
Nick, one of the busiest, more than 1 million people this week alone coming through this airport, and that pales in comparison to the rest of the country. Hey, I want to show you something really quick. Max talked about Hurricane Beryl. Look, Montego Bay, these flights canceled already. Here's what the rest of the airport looks like, though. We're going to walk around here to this big, long line at TSA. Listen to this. TSA predicting more than 32 million people going through its security checkpoints for the holiday. That's more than a 5% increase compared to last year. The agency says, obviously, pack the patience, but don't forget to unpack firearms, also fireworks. 'Tis the season. Through the first quarter of the year, though, TSA has confiscated more than 1,500 firearms. 93% of those weapons were loaded. With the rise in people flying, and you see this long line here, TSA already warning people about the potential for chaos. TSA saying, Nick, hey, get to the airport at least 2 hours early. In some cases, if maybe trying to avoid a line like this, you may want to get to the airport 3 hours early.
But Xavier, everybody seems to be in a good mood. I saw a couple of people in line actually laughing. What about people who won't be flying but are actually planning to drive for their destination?
Hey, Nick, think about it. If you were going on vacation, you would be in a good mood, too. Instead, you and I are talking. We're here working. But, hey, majority of Americans are driving. We're talking about 85% hitting the roads. That's according to AAA. And when you stop and look at it, the numbers are actually up for people actually deciding to hit the roads this year, going more than 50 miles. We're talking about 60.6 million Americans traveling by car for this Independence Day getaway. That's up nearly 3 million from last year. And if that's you, hey, good news. The average gas price nationwide for the 4th of July is going to be the cheapest it's been since 2001. That's the last 3 years. The national average right around $3.50. As for the best time to hit the road, you're going to want to leave before noon if that's today or tomorrow. If you're driving, the worst time would actually be leaving between 2 and 7. Again, that's today or tomorrow. And this line, these people, they're getting ready to head out.
And Xavier, I have to tell you, Better Than Vacation is working with you, Stephanie, Alicia, and Elena. Thank you so much, Xavier. And as the U.S. sees record travel, Americans are also facing record high costs for their 4th of July cookouts. Get this. The average cost for 10 people to chow down, $71. The American Farm Bureau's annual survey found cookout staples are up 5% from last year and up 30% from 2019. Now, according to the Farming Advocacy Group, the cost of ground beef went up 11% since last year, while burger buns are up 7%. Get your hands off my buns. What? And even side items like strawberries and potato chips are higher than last year. Now, concern is growing that China is building spy bases just over 50 miles from the U.S. New satellite images showing facilities popping up across Cuba, the security threat that could put American intel at risk. And just days before NASCAR takes over Chicago, Austin Cindric joins me to discuss one of the most unique races on the calendar, how one of NASCAR's brightest young stars is revving up for the Windy City.
Imagine a future where plastic is not wasted, but instead remade over and over into the things that keep our food fresher, our families safer, and our planet cleaner. To help us get there, America's plastic makers are investing billions of dollars to create innovative products and new recycling technologies for sustainable change. Because when you push for smarter solutions, big things can happen.
Okay, everyone, our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Ensure with 27 vitamins and minerals, nutrients for immune health, and Ensure Complete with 30 grams of protein.
The following is based on reality. You may be offended.
I've fallen. Please help me.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
This is Life Alert. I'm calling for help right now.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately. And batteries never need charging. Life Alert saves a life from a catastrophe every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-559-8882. That's 1-800-559-8882. Call now, 1-800-559-8882.
When you overdo it, undo it. with the Pepto that's right for you.
Pepto has very fast melts, cherry chewables, liquid caps that make relief easy. Pepto-Bismol.
Pick your Pepto.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms.
With my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. But just okay isn't okay.
And I was done settling.
If you still have symptoms after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in RA and PSA, relieve fatigue, and stop further joint damage. And in PSA, can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occurred. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Done settling?
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq.
And take back what's yours.
AbbVie could help you save.
On July 4th, 2024, our country celebrates 248 years of independence. And even today, despite all our differences, there's more that unites us than divides us. At NewsNation, we're proud to celebrate one nation, indivisible, with respect for all Americans, right here in the greatest nation on earth. NewsNation, news for all America.
20 minutes after the hour. New satellite images are renewing concerns that China is using Cuba to spy on the United States. New intelligence facilities popping up across the island nation that could be used to spy on American military bases. This new report coming a year after the Biden administration accused China of upgrading Cuban intelligence bases for years. NewsNation's Ryan Bass has more. And Ryan, with spy technology already so advanced, what's the biggest concern right now?
Nick, quite frankly, it's the proximity to us here in the U.S. and potentially spying on not just Americans, but our military bases. I'm here in downtown St. Petersburg. Right across the bay is MacDill Air Force Base. That obviously would be one of the locations where there's concern that China could be spying on our military personnel here. And that is really the biggest red flag. One of the eavesdropping spots linked to China is reportedly being built just over 50 miles from the U.S.'s military base in Guantanamo Bay. The Center for Strategic and International Studies published these satellite images showing the latest upgrade to the country's surveillance capabilities that are believed to be linked to China. It focuses on the fact that China has access to multiple spy facilities in Cuba, pinpointing 4 sites across the island. So why is that such a big deal? Well, the CSIS says it could allow China to scoop up sensitive electronic communications from American military bases, keep an eye on rocket launches from Cape Canaveral and NASA's Kennedy Space Center, and spy on American sensitive information as well. Nick, we've heard of these Chinese spy balloons in the sky. We've reported on Chinese companies scooping up farmland in the U.S. near military bases. And now we're talking about this, even more of an indication that Washington's top strategic rival is trying to keep tabs here on us in the U.S.
Yeah, we know that the Biden administration has been vocal about these spying concerns in the past, but what are they saying about this latest report, Ryan?
So NewsNation's reached out to the White House and also the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. We have yet to hear back yet from them. However, Cuban Vice Foreign Minister Carlos Fernandez de Casio blasted the Wall Street Journal's report on his social media channels, calling it an intimidation campaign, and denied that Cuba was harboring Chinese military interests on the island. Now, in this year's annual threat assessment, U.S. intelligence officials said publicly that China is pursuing military facilities in Cuba, but they didn't go into much detail here. Such signals intelligence was used heavily by Russia and the U.S. during the Cold War in Cuba, but the CSIS says China has been actively building new electronic spying sites. Now, China has increased its presence in the Western Hemisphere in the recent years, including in the Caribbean. Last year, as you mentioned, Nick, Biden administration officials said Beijing has been spying from Cuba and upgraded its intelligence collection facilities there in 2019. Allegations that both Beijing and Havana, Nick, have denied.
Ryan Bass, that is chilling indeed, because it once again reminds us all about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Ryan Bass, thank you. Joining me now is Ryan Berg, and he can help me talk about that because he's one of the report's authors and the director of America's program at CSIS. Ryan, good morning.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
I referenced to Ryan, it immediately brought to mind, to me, the Cuban Missile Crisis, because at that time it was Russia actually using Cuba to install technology to spy on the United States and set up a space there. But setting up these bases, what does this say about the new threats that America faces, once again, just 90 miles from our shore?
Well, look, I think it's a bipartisan consensus now that we face a grand strategic rival in the People's Republic of China, and the People's Republic of China is going to use whatever advantages they have, including their allies 90 miles off our shore, to set up, in this case, signals intelligence facilities to have access to very sensitive information. And the report goes into detail about all of those sites and facilities, basically in the state of Florida, but also along the Gulf Coast, that would be of great concern to a strategic rival like the PRC. We're talking about naval and air bases, Southcom, the head of the Southern Command, literally in Miami, as well as a couple sensitive space launch facilities where information could be gathered on both commercial and NASA space flight, where the Chinese are competing with us quite intensely. So Cuba has a very strategic position. It always has. And our rivals since the Cold War, including Russia, have used Cuba as a spot to spy on the United States. And in this case, now it's the Chinese.
Ryan, you and I both know that this information can be disturbing to so many people. I want to take a look at a photo, actually, right now. This satellite photo of a suspected spy base, you say, is just 50 miles from Guantanamo Bay. Now, Cuba is allowing China to use and build on that site. What are those facilities there to actually do, and how have they been operating in the past?
Well, what we discovered in this facility, which is called El Salao, which is near Santiago de Cuba in the south of the island, this is, I think, the new facility that the Wall Street Journal reported on about a year ago with their lead. You can see there a circularly disposed antenna array, an array basically put in a circle that can scoop up a lot of information at one time, something similar to what we've seen on some of these island building campaigns in the South China Sea that the Chinese have done. And it's strategically positioned, as you said, right by Guantanamo Bay, a naval facility that the U.S. has had a lease on since 1903. And of course, the Cubans protest mightily that the United States has a presence on the island going back to before the Cuban communist regime. So it's a strategic position. It's something that the Chinese, of course, want to keep an eye on. But as we highlight in the report, there are 3 other facilities of potential concern that all have access to SIGINT on the mainland United States that are also of concern, besides the facility that we think is looking at Guantanamo Bay.
Something that will continue to require our attention. Ryan Berg, thank you so much for joining us on Morning in America.
Great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. A nosy pup causes some serious trouble. How the innocent pet started a house fire and where the owner was at the time. Now, before you make your next fast food run, a former McDonald's corporate chef and social media influencer joins me with some Golden Arches secrets. Hear what you might want to do the next time you order.
Not every decision you make will be as good as getting a Volkswagen at the Savvy VW Summer Sales Event. 2024 Volkswagen models cost less to maintain than Honda. Get 0.9% APR financing or a $3,500 customer bonus on a new 2024 Atlas or Atlas Cross Sport.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance and I saved hundreds. With all the money I saved, thought I'd buy stilts. Hi, honey. Hey. Oh, look, no line at the hot dog stand.
Yes.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Life, diabetes. There's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Glucerna to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with Carb Steady. Glucerna, bring on the day.
Used for 2 weeks, now it's a $1,500 coat rack. Didn't even learn smoke on the water. Broke her pinky. Pulled her groin. Glued it to the table. Babble? Interesting. Can she even speak a word of Spanish?
Lo siento, ¿qué dijiste?
Wait, really?
¿Qué? Son solo 15 minutos al día.
Start learning today at Babbel.com.
The virus that causes shingles is sleeping.
in 99% of people over 50. It's lying dormant, waiting, and could reactivate. Shingles strikes as a painful, blistering rash that can last for weeks, and it could wake at any time. Think you are not at risk for shingles? It's time to wake up, because shingles could wake up in you. If you're over 50, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about shingles prevention.
CUOMO just cleaned my entire house for $19. Seriously, $19. They showed up right on time and did my dishes, my laundry, they even cleaned my windows. You just pick a date, pick a cleaner, and enjoy a spotless house for $19. I love using CUOMO, and I think you will too.
I can feel the winds of change.
Dad, are you certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of 4imprint, your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love. Printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Welcome back. It's 30 minutes after the hour. Here are the top stories we're following this morning. President Biden facing trouble in his re-election efforts as some Democrats call for him to drop out of the race. The first being Texas Congressman Lloyd Doggett. According to Reuters, at least 25 House Democrats are ready to call on the president to step aside after a shaky performance on the debate stage. And Category 4 Hurricane Beryl is heading for Jamaica this morning with life-threatening winds up to 145 miles per hour and a storm surge that could reach 6 to 9 feet. Beryl rolled through southeastern Caribbean earlier, killing at least 6 people before briefly strengthening to a Category 5. That's the highest classification possible and the earliest storm on record to do so. And record-breaking travel is expected this holiday week. TSA predicting more than 32 million people will be flying. And AAA says 60.6 million will be hitting the roads for their Independence holiday plans. That's up nearly 3 million from last year. In other headlines we're following this morning, the Food and Drug Administration warns that the recalled Diamond Shrooms McCross-Dawson candies may be linked to a death and nearly 50 illnesses across 24 states. The company says the products may contain a psychoactive chemical found in potentially toxic mushroom. People have reported seizures, abnormal heart rates, and loss of consciousness. The chocolate bars, cones, and gummies were sold at vape stores and marketed for microdosing. That's when people take a small amount of psychedelic drugs to achieve possible benefits without all of the side effects. And a bridge near that falling Minnesota dam we've been reporting on is on the verge of collapsing, and officials say there is very little they can do to stop it. Heavy rain and flooding caused the river to wash away large amounts of sediment and compromising the bridge's structural integrity. It's too dangerous for anyone to even inspect it right now. Crews are monitoring the dam and bridge, saying they're at the mercy of Mother Nature. And Hollywood is remembering Oscar-winning screenwriter Robert Towne. He made several Hollywood hits come to life on the big screen, most notably winning an Academy Award for Chinatown and earning 3 more Oscar nods. He wrote for dozens of movies from the 1960s through the 2000s, including uncredited contributions to Bonnie and Clyde and The Godfather. Robert Towne was 89 years old. All right, a former McDonald's chef flipping the art of burgers into social media stardom.
Hello humans, Chef Mike here, former corporate chef for McDonald's, and today I am going to give you my recipe on how to make Big Mac sauce at home.
In a bowl, start with 1 cup of mayonnaise. I'm using Hellmann's mayonnaise.
That guy spilling all the secrets is Mike Harris. He spent 4 years as the U.S. manager of culinary innovation for McDonald's, whipping up new menu items. He now pulls back the curtain to share insider tips and menu hacks with his 300,000 plus followers on TikTok. Mike joins us now to serve up the latest information. Mike, good morning. Good morning, Chef.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, we love stuff like this because people at home will try it, and I'm going to go home and hopefully try my own McRib. Yeah, right.
There
Remember
you
that
go.
one there?
Get the smoker out. Absolutely.
Exactly. I'm in love with my air fryer right now, so you're going to have to tell me something I can actually do with my air fryer. Okay, what are 3 things that people don't know about McDonald's? And there's a hidden facility, right?
Yeah, so, there is a training facility that looks like a movie set where basically McDonald's can set up kitchen configurations however they want. They can actually take sales data from any specific restaurant and run a simulation to see if I added new menu items, would it really, break down the machine, or would we be able to still serve food at the speed that McDonald's is hoping to? So it's a pretty cool kind of place to hang out at.
I was going to ask you what's the best thing on the menu, but I think that can be subjective because we all like different things. But is there something that you would say is the best thing on the menu or something that people should avoid ordering?
Sure. So I think the best thing on the menu, and there's a time limit. So if you get it specifically in the United States, they switch to cooking fresh beef to order for the quarter pounders. So if you order it in the restaurant or you get it and you're going to eat it pretty quickly, a quarter pounder is very hard to beat. However, if you're going to wait 15, 20 minutes, if it's going to be delivered, you might want to just save the money and go traditional double cheeseburger or McDouble, get a deal on it, because that quarter pounder then kind of tastes like it just used to, where it was not as hot, not as juicy. So I do recommend getting that as fast as and eating it as fast as possible.
Okay, Chef, I want to throw a couple of things at me. Destroy the myth or call it fact. A coworker of mine once said, anytime you go to McDonald's, make sure you order fresh to order, because then they make it right then and there, like he know everything. Is he right?
The best thing you could do is ask very nicely, can I have fresh French fries? And then I will wait for it. If you say that, they are trained to pull you off to the side. They'll make a fresh batch. Okay. Some people say order those French fries without salt as kind of a trick, but then crew know exactly what you're doing and they're like, all right, they could have just asked nice. That would have been helpful. But yeah, you could get fresh French fries if you just ask nicely.
All right, during your career at McDonald's, you discovered some fun ways to remix menu items. Tell us about some of those hacks.
Sure. So as you pointed out, personal preference is obviously, the most important. But I think that the folded egg on the breakfast sandwich that comes with the bagel and the biscuit is not my favorite. It comes in pre-cooked, frozen, and it's reheated in the restaurant. I do recommend either switching that out to the fresh round egg, which is the egg that comes on an Egg McMuffin that's fresh cracked in the restaurant. Or if you know somebody and ask really, really nice, you could swap that folded egg out for the scrambled egg that's on their big breakfast. That is more buttery, better flavor, nice soft texture, and it actually fills up that breakfast sandwich a little better.
Chef Harris, you got me there with that big breakfast. Them eggs and them pancakes ain't no joke. Chef Harris, thank you so much.
Right. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
A hospital in Texas is taking remote work to a whole new level. Would you make a doctor's appointment with a hologram? It's a first in the country, and NewsNation got an inside look. We'll show you how it works.
I own a lot of businesses, so my tech and my network need to keep up. Thank you, Verizon Business.
Now our businesses get fast and reliable internet from the same network that powers our phones.
So whatever's next, we're cooking with fire.
Switch to the partner businesses rely on.
I've always been an active person. Biking, running, but yoga, it's really special to me. It's definitely a big part of who I am, and I love the way it makes me feel. But there was a time not long ago when I felt I had to accept the idea of hanging up this old yoga mat. You see, I have symptomatic obstructive HCM, which left me so short of breath, I just couldn't get out here, making me feel like a bystander in my own life. So I talked to my cardiologist, and he told me about Camzyos. He said Camzyos works by targeting what's causing my obstructive HCM. So he prescribed it, and I'm so thankful he did.
Camzyos is used to treat adults with symptomatic obstructive HCM. Camzyos may improve your symptoms and your ability to be active. Camzyos may cause serious side effects, including heart failure that can lead to death, a risk that's increased if you develop a serious infection or irregular heartbeat or when taking certain other medicines. So do not stop, start, or change medicines or the dose without telling your healthcare provider. You must have echocardiograms before and during treatment. Seek help if you experience new or worsening symptoms of heart failure. Because of this risk, Camzyos is only available through a restricted program. Before taking Camzyos, tell your doctor about all of your medical conditions, including current or planned pregnancy.
With Camzyos reducing my symptoms, I've gone from sitting on the sidelines to being back in the game.
My name is Stephanie, and this is my Camzyos moment.
Call your cardiologist today and see if a Camzyos moment may be in your future, too.
Life, diabetes, there's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Glucerna to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with Carb Steady. Glucerna, bring on the day.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardiance at each day's start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
Jardiance works 24/7 in your body to flush out some sugar. And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death, too.
Serious side effects may include ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of infection in your legs or feet. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Jardiance is really swell, the little pill with the big story to tell.
Did you know you can save with GoodRx, even if you have insurance?
You know, I thought my prescription was covered until it wasn't, but GoodRx helps with that.
I work for myself, so I buy my own insurance. And I still check GoodRx.
I'm on Medicare. I check GoodRx because it can beat my copay. Who wouldn't like that?
Even if you have insurance, GoodRx can help you save.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Another good reason to check GoodRx.
Bad boy Sparky. Bad. Look at you. Get down off that counter. I told you that before. This furry friend is in big trouble. The curious pup placing his front paws on the stovetop, sniffing around when it bumped a knob and turned on the stove. And sitting on top were some cardboard boxes, sparking the early morning house fire. Luckily, firefighters were able to get there and extinguish the flames, but not before both the kitchen and upstairs rooms were ruined. Ooh. Now, check this out. You're at the doctor's office expecting to see your doctor, right? But you're expecting to see your doctor in person. But no, it's a 3D hologram, and a Texas hospital is the first in the nation to use it. NewsNation Stephanie Haynes joins us to break it all down. Stephanie, you got up and personal with your own demo.
Yeah, I did. And it was actually really impressive, Nick. You know, I came here and spoke to the CEO, Raji Kumar, at Crescent Regional Hospital here through this hologram. And I was really surprised because right away when I'm sitting there talking to her, she can see everything. The camera is really powerful on her end. She could even see my earrings. And so part of what she wants to kind of employ here is better patient engagement, you know, better than just a telehealth call or a Zoom call that is just 2D and you can only see, you know, from the shoulders up. This you can really see the whole person and get a really good picture of what you're looking at. And so when I spoke to the CEO and I spoke to the company HoloConnects, they say that this could be the way of the future.
Now you're actually seeing the person as a whole. I'm able to see you as a whole. Yeah. I can see you walk, talk. I can make you do some certain tasks. Which I'm not able to do with a smaller screen.
So the company HoloConnects that makes those hologram boxes, they're already in place in Europe, Nick, for check-in at hotels. So that's how they really came up with this idea. They also think this is really going to cut down on doctor travel times. They don't have to drive across the metroplex or to a rural area. And also patient wait times. You know, if you had to get a post-operation appointment, you don't have to wait 2 months. You might just have to wait maybe a day or two or a few hours, Nick.
And Stephanie, even more importantly, like you said, in some of those areas where doctors can be hard to get to. Stephanie Haynes, thank you so much. All right, he was born months before the Beijing Olympics in 2008. Now Quincy Wilson will be representing Team USA in Paris. Hear what the 16-year-old's coach told NewsNation about training this history-making Olympian.
Saving for retirement was tough enough.
And navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we keep a disciplined approach with your portfolio, helping you through the market's ups and downs.
What about communication?
We check in regularly to keep you informed.
Which means you'll help us stay on track?
Yes, as a fiduciary, we always put your interest first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Diabetes can serve up a lot of questions, like what is your glucose and can you have more carbs? Before you decide. With the Freestyle Libre 3 system, know your glucose and where it's heading. No finger sticks needed. Now the world's smallest and thinnest sensor sends your glucose levels directly to your smartphone. Manage your diabetes with more confidence and lower your A1C, the #1 CGM prescribed in the U.S. Try it for free at freestylelibre.us.
The virus that causes shingles is sleeping in 99% of people over 50. It's lying dormant, waiting, and could reactivate. Shingles strikes as a painful, blistering rash that can last for weeks, and it could wake at any time. Think you are not at risk for shingles? It's time to wake up, because shingles could wake up in you. If you're over 50, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about shingles prevention.
Known for following your dreams. Known for keeping with tradition. Known for discovering new places. No one wants to be known for cancer, but a treatment can be. Keytruda is known to treat cancer, FDA approved for 17 types of cancer, including certain early stage and advanced cancers. One of those cancers is early stage non-small cell lung cancer. Keytruda may be used with certain chemotherapies before surgery when you have early stage lung cancer, which can be removed by surgery, and then continued alone after surgery to help prevent your lung cancer from coming back.
Keytruda can cause your immune system to attack healthy parts of your body during or after treatment. This may be severe and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you have cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, severe nausea or vomiting, headache, light sensitivity, eye problems, irregular heartbeat, extreme tiredness, constipation, dizziness or fainting, changes in appetite, thirst or urine, confusion, memory problems, muscle pain or weakness, fever, rash, itching or flushing. There may be other side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions, including immune system problems. If you've had or plan to have an organ, tissue, or stem cell transplant, receive chest radiation, or have a nervous system problem.
Keytruda is an immunotherapy and is also being studied in hundreds of clinical trials, exploring ways to treat even more types of cancer. It's true, Keytruda from Merck. See all the types of cancer Keytruda is known for at Keytruda.com and ask your doctor if Keytruda could be right for you.
I'm certain it's level 5.
Are you for imprint certain?
I'm certain it's level 5.
Certainty matters, like the certainty of 4imprint, your home for high-quality promotional gear, including exclusive items and brands they love, printed perfectly and guaranteed to arrive on time. To wow your clients, nail your next event, or inspire your team, check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
We went with the website nuts.com because nuts and dried fruit and pretzels and trail mix and gummies and chocolate and espresso beans and malted milk balls and crackers and popcorn and sesame sticks and veggie chips and energy squares and fudge and jelly beans and seeds and rock candy and saltwater taffy and dried berries and fruit leather and bars and jerky and a whole lot more .com was already taken. Get 20% off and free shipping on your first order at nuts.com. Yes, we have more than nuts, but still the website is just nuts.com.
Welcome back. 47 minutes after the hour, a teen prodigy from Maryland makes history as the youngest male to join the U.S. Olympic track team. 16-year-old Quincy Wilson broke the high school record and will now run his way to Paris. In a conversation with On Balance guest host Elizabeth Pran, Wilson's coach Jolie boasts about the teen's record-breaking accomplishment.
When did you know that Quincy was just downright special?
I probably knew that when I first met him. And when you meet him, he's just such a mannerable, kind, respectful young man. I mean, you know that there's a special thing inside of him, and it has nothing to do with athletics. He's a straight-A student. He won the Principals Award this year, and his freshman year, last year, he won the Joy of Living Award. So when you do all those kind of things, plus the amazing things he's done on the track, then you know he's pretty special pretty early.
Yeah, you can just see it in his smile. All right, so Paris is coming up. What is he doing to prepare? I mean, how are you walking through him? This is such a moment that he is experiencing.
Yeah, I mean, we're still kind of on cloud nine over here. It's still been, less than 48 hours since we got the word. The Olympic Committee called us up on Sunday night, and, we got the news that because it was possible that he was not selected, even though he made the final, which was crazy. So we're already at it. We've been at practice for the past couple of days, and we're not going to change much. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But it's really, as a coach, I'm proud of it, and we're happy and we're preparing. But as a track fan, I'm like, what in the world is going on? There's a high school sophomore that is breaking records and making Olympic finals with like grown-ups. He literally was twice, the person who was 2 lanes ahead of him was twice his age. He was 32. So pretty cool story for us all to enjoy. But yeah, we're living the dream right now, and we're glad it's going to keep going to Paris.
You can watch On Balance with Leland Vittert starting tonight at 7, 6 Central, right here on News Nation. From track and field to the racetrack, we're just days away from one of the most unique races in all of American motorsports. NASCAR's Chicago Street Race is this weekend, so how does racing on city streets compare to the traditional oval? Well, I got the man to ask right here. Look at him. That's racing star Austin Cindric. He has the answer and so many more. Plus, his affinity for a certain piece of formal wear, you don't want to miss it. We'll talk to him after the break. And elected Democrats beginning to call on President Biden to end his re-election efforts following that debate performance. Now, they are all outliers, or will more Democrats actually fall in line? We'll talk about it when we come back.
Can you do this? As early as your 40s, you may lose muscle and strength. Protein supports muscle health. Ensure Max Protein has a 30-gram blend of high-quality protein to feed muscles for up to 7 hours. So take the challenge. Ensure nutrition for strength and energy.
When you have moderate to severe eczema, it's okay to show off. With Dupixent, show off your clearer skin and less itch. Because you have plenty of reasons to show off your skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, you can stay ahead of your eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin and fast itch relief after first dose. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer,
my fear of recurrence could have held me back.
But I'm staying focused
and doing more to prevent recurrence.
Verzenio is specifically for HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence versus hormone therapy alone. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm focusing on what counts.
Talk to your doctor about reducing your risk.
I have moderate to severe Crohn's disease. Now there's Skyrizi.
Things are looking up. I've got symptom relief. Control of my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi is the first IL-23 inhibitor that can deliver remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And Skyrizi is proven to help deliver long-lasting remission at 1 year.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. liver problems may occur, and Crohn's disease.
Now's the time to ask your gastroenterologist how you can take control of your Crohn's with Skyrizi.
Control is everything to me.
Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Someone needs to customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Wait, there's an elevator?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
All right, we're just days away from NASCAR's return to the streets of Chicago, and motorsports best are gearing up for the challenges that come along with racing through Second City as they look to unseat defending champ Shane Van Gisbergen, who shocked the world by winning the inaugural Cup Series street race in his first ever NASCAR race. Austin, you won the last time NASCAR came through the land of Lincoln for the Enjoy Illinois 300 in June. We got to talk to you about that. What is it going to take for you to go 2 for 2 with the win in Chicago on Sunday?
Yeah, certainly a lot of different things, as you guys have touched on. You know, the Chicago street race is much different than what we normally do week to week. You know, most of the racetracks we race on are purpose-built to be raced on. So it's a big challenge, but yeah, definitely an event I think we've all been looking forward to since last year. All
right, Mr. Cindric, you're a big deal. You know, we were excited to have you on the show because we enjoy watching you race. I have a producer who is a NASCAR fanatic, and he talked about how you finished in 6th place at Chicago last year. What are the biggest challenges when driving not just a road course, but on actual city streets compared to a traditional NASCAR oval?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between a traditional road course and a street course is the risk versus reward factor. I mean, it's obviously a temporary circuit on public roads, so you're going to have concrete walls lining the entire racetrack. So for that, you know, the streets are also quite narrow in comparison to regular racetracks, so maximizing the width of the racetrack that we're given. So we're playing with super fine margins, and those fine margins are the difference in lap time. You know, being able to utilize an extra inch or two, you know, towards the outside wall. You know, that's what's going to make the difference between that, and it's going to be bumpy. I mean, regular, you know, city streets aren't exactly going to be a smooth, you know, perfect surface for us. So different surface changes and being flexible with ride quality, and it's going to be bumpy. It's not going to be comfortable, and I think that's what makes it unique. Obviously, the oval racing that we do is all more about high speed and being able to kind of only go one direction. We're obviously doing left-hand corners, where this is you know, you're challenging the braking. You're going both directions. So it's much different than what we do most weeks.
Yeah, Austin, I've been driving these streets for a couple of years now, and I can tell you they're definitely not smooth. Okay, here's a big deal, too. I want to talk about this. Despite that big win last month, you're currently locked in a playoff spot. How do you think your season is going to go so far?
Yeah, no, obviously, number one goal if you're a NASCAR driver is to make it in the playoffs. That's the only chance you have at winning a championship, and that's kind of the next step. So either winning races or pointing your way in is the path to do that, and to get a win kind of halfway through the regular season. It is big for us because, you know, I think that was probably one of our best executed races. And, you know, for me as a, you know, kind of younger driver and with a younger group of guys, like that's what we needed. We needed an example of our ability to execute, put a race together. Now for us, you know, if we want to go make the most out of the opportunity of being in the playoffs, it's about doing that, you know, on a more consistent basis. You know, the playoffs are really tough, and the series is really tough. So I'm excited for the opportunity, and we've kind of got the next, you know, handful of weeks, you know, month or so to be prepared as possible for that. But you know, as we progress here, I can help myself out more and more in the playoffs by getting race wins. So if that means we can go out in Chicago and perform and contend this weekend and get 5 extra playoff points that are going to help us down the line, that'll be huge.
Austin, I've got about 30 seconds, but I got to ask you this. You've become somewhat famous for your formal wear choices, often rocking a bow tie when you're doing your thing, whenever you're in a suit or a tux. That's not a popular look with too many athletes. How'd you start rocking that bow tie?
Well, I wouldn't say most athletes also were in band class, so I'd say that's probably where it started. Mostly just so my regular tie wouldn't get in the way of the tuba. So yeah, I guess it's normal for me, but yeah, it turns some heads for sure.
Austin Cindric, you want to know what? We are looking forward to seeing you this weekend. We hope that you enjoy Chicago, and looking for you tearing up that track.
Awesome, appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Hey, see you this weekend. Okay, on this day, one of the highest paid actors in the world was born. Plus, the movie Back to the Future made its big debut. Where's my little ring? It's July 3rd, also known as Eat Your Beans Day. In 1863, the Battle of Gettysburg ended. The world's first stock index was published. Idaho became the 43rd state. In 1958, the Andy Williams Show made its debut. And if it's your birthday, know you're celebrating alongside actor Tom Cruise.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of a DeLorean?
Back to the Future, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, was released. Detroit Red Wings legend Steve Yzerman officially retired from the National Hockey League.
I'm coming with you.
Okay. And Greta Gerwig's movie, Barbie, starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, was banned in Vietnam due to a controversial scene. Yeah, that controversial scene, well, didn't stop Barbie from being not only the highest grossing film of 2023, but the highest grossing film ever released by Warner Brothers. Grab your coffee. We have more news for all America.